There's two places in the world where wildlife's increasing. One is North America. They have a public model. The wildlife is owned by the government and financed by the government because they have special laws. Wherever you use a rifle, you catch a fish, you pay the government, and then they add money to that, and it's managed through the state. So you've got the irony that in a highly capitalist country, you've got a highly socialist conservation model. And it works because everybody in America benefits. Everyone gets deer tags, everyone can go to park for $7. And the wildlife authorities at state and federal level, and even municipal level, have spent 100 years making sure that wildlife and protected areas benefit people. So the public model works. The other place that wildlife is increasing is Southern Africa. And there we have a very private model. We recognize that the state has other priorities, and it's actually very hard for a state to manage wildlife over a whole country. So we've turned wildlife into a private good where people can benefit from it, particularly from hunting, a bit from tourism, quite a bit from meat. And because it's making more money from them from the alternative land uses, it's increasing. So there's no one size fits all. A well-funded public model works and a well-funded private model works.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had a devastating effect on human health, social welfare, and the economies of nations across the globe. Blanket travel restrictions, enforced to contain the virus, ensured the instant collapse of tourism worldwide. Several African nations were particularly hard hit because of tourism's high proportion of the GDP in those countries. The continent's spectacular and abundant wildlife is its biggest tourist drawcard. The COVID-19 fallout has threatened this natural resource as never before, especially outside of officially protected areas. The pandemic has also exposed the differences between the two substantive but opposing wildlife conservation doctrines. The first principle is preservationist, based on the rights of animals. The belief is that wildlife should have no economic value, should not be utilized in any way for any reason, and simply be left alone to self-regulate. The second approach is founded on sustainable use. This principle promotes the practical use of natural resources for two primary purposes: the conservation of wildlife and habitat, and the betterment of the lives of the people who live within that environment.